What ends up happening is you start talking yourself out of it immediately, just like Ray Kroc did when he wanted to go to the first McDonald's store to check it out, because what was going on here. He almost talked himself out of it. He almost said, this is going to be too expensive. Why would I do that? And all of the reasons, the analytical reasons, kind of pointed against going down there. But he decided to take a leap of faith and actually do it. So when we try to be creative and we try to be innovative, immediately the self-doubt monster starts to kind of claw its way into taking that ability away from us. And it is one of the, in my opinion, most horrible conditions of humanity. The condition that we have to stop ourselves from having a good idea. It is a disaster. My very, very good friend, Dr. Ken Alexander, is an infectious disease doctor in the Southeast. And he works on, crazy diseases like Zika and all these crazy diseases. His lab is directly across from a cancer research lab, and everybody's friends there, right? All the researchers hang out together, weekends, wine, all of that stuff, restaurants. They're all buddies. So Ken, at one of these dinners, talked to one of his friends, another doctor who was doing research on a type of brain cancer that children get that is 100% fatal rate. I mean, it's the worst thing ever. And Ken was studying Zika at the time. This is about 2 years ago now. And he saw the particular enzyme in that Zika was perfectly situated to, I'm not a scientist, so I don't really understand this, but it is perfectly situated to attack this very particular form of cancer, right? But he had to go and convince his friends and colleagues to inject this Zika virus, like literally Zika virus, the mosquito one? He literally inject that into cancer cells from this particular cancer because he thought it would work. He was met with a lot of ridicule, right? It took him a month to even kind of gather up the courage to go talk to his colleagues because he was afraid that they would laugh at him. He was afraid that they would think, oh, that's a dumb idea. Why would anybody ever do that? So finally one night he convinces one of the researchers there to try this. And she said, okay, we'll do it after hours because it's going to be embarrassing. Like I don't want the understudies to see this stuff, right? We'll do it, we'll leave it in the thing, cook it overnight and come back in. They did it. They came back in the next morning, and I kid you guys not, this Zika virus was able to attack this particular form of childhood cancer and eradicate it. And they are in phase 2 trials. They're almost about to start injecting Zika virus into children with this particular form of cancer because they think that it will work. And if it does, guys, this would be literally creativity and innovation saving lives. That is how important these ideas are. Now you might say, Nir, I work at the city. I'm not a cancer researcher or whatnot. But within every single one of you in this room today, there is the potential for an idea and an innovation that can change humanity. And for you to shut that down and for you to not allow that out, it affects me. It affects everyone else. And in a selfish way, my mission in life has been to generate creativity and generate innovation from people who might not want it out in the world simply because the potential of your idea is that strong. And the potential of what you can do at your particular industry can have ramifications that will last a lifetime. So, do not squash your ideas before they have a chance to get out into the real world. There are tons of things that kind of fail an inch or 2 inches before they are successful. People give up. They say, I'm not going to do this. They kind of let go. So, you need to take a risk and a leap of faith on ideas, on innovation, no matter how small they are, because those ideas might change your industry, might change lives forever. Now, this is great, Nir. How do I do it? So, I got a technique called the waterfall write it down technique. Again, redlined in the book. Guys, McGraw would like, absolutely not. This is the dumbest thing we've ever heard. We're not publishing it. I was like, okay, I swear it works. And so I hired a psychologist. They did some research. We got it. It really works. When you write something down, you transmit a different manifestation of your brain than when you think about something. I don't know why it works, as I'm not a scientist, but what ends up happening is when you write stuff down, you take the weight of the idea off of your shoulders, and it becomes kind of an inanimate object. It's just a piece of paper that I wrote something down on. So what I highly recommend is that if you want to come up with ideas, you want to come up with innovation, take it out of your head and put it down on a piece of paper. Out of your head and down on a piece of paper. What you do is you keep writing stuff down on a piece of paper, or Post-its. I love Post-it. Keep writing your ideas down on a sheet of Post-it, on a piece of Post-it. What ends up happening is you don't fall in love with that idea like you are carrying around when it's in your head and you're like, oh, I've got a great idea for how to, get the vendors to collaborate better with the city or whatever. It becomes something that you put on paper. When you put it on paper, you change psychologically your approach to it, and you kind of free the weight of it from your shoulders onto reality. So, I highly recommend the waterfall technique in order to get ideas out into the real world. Okay, another thing that you must do if you want to be creative and you want to be innovative is shut down your phone and your computer once in a while, please. Okay? Shut down your phone and your computer once in a while, please. Now, I do this talk and we change up the sections, but I just did this with a group of scientists at Thermo Fisher, and they were like, this part, they're like, no, like we have to. There's so much good stuff happening, and this is something that we want to keep up with the latest, and we get research papers from all over the world, and what if information there is incredibly important? Well, here's the thing. If you're not able to step away from your work once in a while, you just become a machine, a robot that keeps executing the same old thing over and over again. Now, what I recommend that you do, if it's genuinely impossible for you to walk away from your machine or your phone, which it might be, I don't know, I hope not, is to start scheduling what I call me time, okay? What you do is you start blocking out time on your schedule for things that you want to do, for things that you think would be a good use of your time. Now, start next week, okay? And put a half hour in your calendars. I'll wait. If you guys want to pull out your phones and your cell phone, put a half hour in your calendar next week and call it me time. Okay? I promise you that half hour will probably be the best half hour of your entire week. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I'm in Zoom or Teams meetings from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30, sometimes 6 at night, non-stop. And sometimes I can't even go to the bathroom. It's that bad because I'm in so many of these things. But what I've started to do is block out time, and it allows me to just kind of have time to let my mind go blank and not think about work, not think about what I have to be doing, or think about, something that is coming up. And when you do that, it allows you to take a break and take a step away. When you take a break and a step away, creativity is a byproduct. Innovation is a byproduct of allowing your brain to step away from your day-to-day work, and it allows it to roam and come up with some different ideas.